parties have been wrangling over entitlements for months. What makes you think a miracle's gonna...
Miracle. Miracle.
What makes you think a miracle's gonna...
That was Zoe Barnes. I was working with her.
Stop and listen.
Frank Underwood is the one who did this.
Listen! This is nuts.
Not. Not.
Listen! This is nuts.
And I'm calling on behalf of the National Firearm Education Center. Would you be able to speak with me briefly?
Briefly. Briefly.
Would you be able to speak with me briefly?
Texas, just like you.
Dallas?
Lubbock. I had a much thicker accent to get rid of than y'all.
Accent. Accent.
I had a much thicker accent to get rid of than y'all. I had a much thicker accent to get rid of than y'all.
How do you know I had one?
Your first joint interview, when your husband was running for state assembly in '86.
Assembly. Assembly.
When your husband was running for state assembly in '86. No, I contacted the local affiliate in Greenville. They wouldn't send me the tapes via mail, so...
Via. Via.
They wouldn't send me the tapes via mail, so...
You won't. My neck'll be right out there with you.
Oh, Francis faints at the sight of blood. He'd never...
Faint. Faint.
Francis faints at the sight of blood. He'd never...
It's not as progressive as I'd like. You mean...
Progressive. Progressive.
It's not as progressive as I'd like. You mean... It's not as progressive as I'd like. You mean radical.
Radical. Radical.
You mean radical.
Raising retirement age to 67 makes entitlements solvent until 2055, and it saves us over $1 trillion without a single penny of taxpayer income.
Taxpayer. Taxpayer.
Without a single penny of taxpayer income.
I have a responsibility to my constituents. I promised I wouldn't waver when it came to things...
Are we really going to allow the Tea Party to determine...
Fiscal. Fiscal.
Are we really going to allow the Tea Party to determine...
I've never been
fiscal
beholden to the
legislation?
Tea
Oh,
Party.
come on, Curtis. You wouldn't have won re-election if their PACs hadn't dumped $10 million into your campaign.
Dump. Dump.
If their PACs hadn't dumped $10 million into your campaign. It's a
Curtis,
function of...
Curtis, this shows some goodwill. Can you stomach 68 and 64?
Stomach. Stomach.
Can you stomach 68 and 64?
Effect.
I'm VPNing through Iran and 12 other countries. Don't worry. It's secure.
Secure. Secure.
Don't worry. It's secure.
I'm meeting with him soon. He's the final hurdle.
Cutting it pretty close, Frank.
Well, this is historic.
Historic. Historic.
Well, this is historic.
That the notion of noble objectivism came into the forefront.
But facts are facts.
1992, fact. George Bush Sr. is shown.
Bush. Bush.
1992, fact. George Bush Sr. is shown. He was asking how the new one was different than the old one. Curiosity, not ignorance. But the lack of context told a more powerful narrative.
Narrative. Narrative.
But the lack of context told a more powerful narrative.
Look, here's the email. Hieronymus Bot. The FBI has been hunting him for years.
Hunt. Hunt.
The FBI has been hunting him for years. You shouldn't be teaching in Ithaca. You're better than that. You should be back
I
home,
belong here.
droning on to a bunch of hungover English majors.
Exactly.
Bunch. Bunch.
Droning on to a bunch of hungover English majors.
Exactly.
You should be back
I
home,
belong here.
droning on to a bunch of hungover English majors.
Exactly.
You're wrong about the truth. There is objective truth.
Objective. Objective.
You're wrong about the truth. There is objective truth.
I'm sorry, Lucas. I'm sorry that night how I reacted.
React. react,
I'm sorry that night how I reacted.
We know that you have an obligation to take a firm stance, but
stance, stance.
we know that you have an obligation to take a firm stance, but in the Tea Party is a strong voice and you're its bullhorn. Show your people that voice can translate into law. And
translate, translate,
show your people that voice can translate into law. And
he's a pig.
Give him time. He used to have 2 white middle-aged guys at his side. Now he's got a black guy and a woman 20 years his junior.
Who knows?
junior, junior,
Now he's got a black guy and a woman 20 years his junior.
Who knows?
He used to have 2 white middle-aged guys at his side. Now he's got a black guy and a woman 20 years his junior.
Who knows how to shoot a rifle?
We just
rifle, rifle,
Who knows how to shoot a rifle?
we just
We use a standard N-tier architecture. Think of it like a big sandwich with layers of bread.
sandwich, sandwich,
Think of it like a big sandwich with layers of bread. Between each is the lettuce, the tomato, the roast beef, whatever. What I'm pulling up here is the org code, which separates the database shit.
database, database,
Which separates the database shit.
That he thought it was a mistake.
if he felt so strongly, he should have advised you otherwise.
advise, advise,
If he felt so strongly, he should have advised you otherwise.
Your people can say whatever they want for the record, but we're going to vote the amendment down.
I am not interested in symbolic gestures.
symbolic, symbolic,
I am not interested in symbolic gestures. But they might abstain.
Well, then you'd need 10.
Entitlements that Republicans quite whale and get at least 2 of them to flip.
flip, flip,
And get at least 2 of them to flip.
You only need 6 abstaining. Erickson's already making calls.
Donna?
And Pulaski.
All right, give me a call list so I can tag team with him.
tag, tag,
Give me a call list so I can tag team with him.
Be issued under the signature of the presiding officer.
The question is on the motion. All those in favor say aye.
favor, favor,
The question is on the motion. All those in favor say aye. It might, which is why you made the long walk over here. Ice water?
I have my people in planes, trains, and automobiles.
automobile, automobile,
I have my people in planes, trains, and automobiles.
We struck a deal with Hector.
Passage of the substitute amendment constitutes passage of the main bill.
constitute, constitute,
Constitutes passage of the main bill.
I'd like to propose an amendment to H.R. 930.
Mr. Haas, you are out of order. The roll call has begun. The clerk will continue to call the roll.
clerk, clerk,
The clerk will continue to call the roll.
I'm Lisa.
Rachel, sorry.
No. We've got cookies and cake inside if you
cookie, cookie,
We've got cookies and cake inside if you
We should add miracle worker to your resume, Frank.
Lazarus makes for a good magic act, but
magic, magic,
Lazarus makes for a good magic act, but
You think you might have been followed? Anything strange the past few weeks?
This is, you know what, this is making me feel uncomfortable.
uncomfortable, uncomfortable,
This is making me feel uncomfortable.
Along with an historic entitlement reform amendment. By raising the retirement age to 68 and 64 for...
retirement, retirement,
By raising the retirement age to 68 and 64 for... By raising the retirement age to 68 and 64 for normal and early retirement, respectively.
respectively, respectively,
For normal and early retirement, respectively.